the cars will have a rolling start. It's not a standing start for the club division. And the cars are also equipped with ABS. We also have on the grid the Porsche Cayman GT4 RS Club Sport cars. The championship really is getting close to being concluded with one race to go, because Philip Wills leads the way. The overall championship, he's 80 points clear of Angelo Fontana. And Philip Wills starts this race in 5th place, Angelo Fontana in 6th. That is going to be quite a scrap. But it will be very much advantage Philip Wills. And in the AM Championship, he leads Fontana by 40 points. And by my calculations, if Philip Wills finishes in 6th place, whatever, he will become the champion. So Piers is waiting for us. We've got him running around today, haven't we? He's back down on the grid and he's going to have a chat to a few drivers. Over to you, Piers.
Thank you, Brian. Yep, I've had to actually take my my second Porsche jacket off. I've only got one on now. I had lots on this morning, but the sun is out, track temperature's rising, and the racing is hotting up, as we saw in the second half of that sport division race. We've got club division up next. Andre Fernandez starting on pole position. We spoke to him earlier on the inside of the front row of the grid. Outside of the front row of the grid is Michael Cole, and I'm hoping to grab a quick word. Michael, can we have a quick chat? Brilliant. Michael, you joined us this time last year. It went pretty well, 2 victories. Can you do the same again this year?
I really hope so. So that's the aim.
Of course, the team, Belgian Racing, have given you a great car. Track temperature's rising. Is that going to affect you in any way?
I think it will be better for us because it looks like the speed comes at the end of each session. So I think it's better for us.
Well, we look forward to a strong end of the race. Michael, thank you so much for taking a moment to chat to us. Great to see Michael back on the grid. Very, very strong here last year. Of course, strong in qualifying. And he's right, end of every session. Actually, as the sessions went on over testing yesterday, he just got quicker and quicker building into the race weekend. Yevgeny Leonov starting on 3rd place inside of the second row of the grid. He was, of course, on pole position for our first race this season, won that race. Going to grab a quick word. Can we have a quick word, Evgeny?
Hi.
Hello, how are you? 3rd place on the grid.
I would be better if I was first.
Of course, always. What can you do to get that first position back?
So it's not a big deal. I think because we have a really good setup, I think we can win.
You've had great pace in practice, topping a lot of the sessions, just pipped in qualifying. What's your plan for the race?
Actually, to win. It's quite simple.
Simple. Keep it easy, lovely. Yevgeny Leonov for Volcano Motorsport, very distinctive car. They're brilliant colours on that one. I enjoy looking at that one on circuit. A new driver this weekend, starting on the outside of row number 2, Damir Hott. Quick word from 1 minute, boys, about to go up. Quick word from Angelo Fontana. No, he's actually focused. I've been told no. Good luck, Angelo. Double thumbs for Angelo. Actually, I think that is all we have time for. 1 minute board's about to come out, so I'll hand you over to Brian Oliver once again for the round 7 of the club division.
Thank you, Piers. Good job done there. And it's always hard work having a chat to drivers when they're on the grid and they're kind of focusing. And we really appreciate the drivers taking their time to talk to us. We are in the entertainment business as well as the sports. So it's really nice just to get an insight and to be able to talk to them. And so thank you to the drivers for taking the time out just to have a chat to Piers as we sit there on the grid baking in this glorious Spanish sunshine. And well, it is quite a way to finish the season, isn't it? It's 2 rounds left in the club division of Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe, and after this it will be the final race of the season. Right, you can see the picture on the right hand side there. That is Alexander Dobik, the number 33 car, who didn't qualify this morning, had problems, did not get out of the garage, and as far as I can tell, he's waiting at the end of the pit lane, or at least he will be. So the formation lap will start, and I think that once the formation lap is complete, that Alexander Dobik will be released and will be able to rejoin at the back of the pack. And it is a real shame because Alexander has been so quick. He got his first podium at Valencia in round 5 last time out, and is a real entertainer, the Ukrainian driver, and we love having him here on the grid, and just on the back foot for both races here this afternoon, the final 2 races of the season. Hopefully he'll enjoy it as much as we are enjoying it. Right, the safety car is rolling, which means the cars behind will also be rolling. So unlike the previous race, this will be a rolling start. Unlike the previous race, pole position is on the right-hand side, the dirty side of the grid, and the driver that occupies that position is Andre Fernandez, courtesy of a 1:43.714 this morning. He has Michael Cole alongside him, Evgeny Leonov in P3, and behind the Cole is the hot Damir Hot. It's going to be a bit tepid in position 2.5. He is P4 on the grid, P5 championship leader, championship elect potentially, Philip Wills, with Angelo Fontana, his championship challenger, alongside Javier Ripoll Jr. Welcome back, Javier. Has Jan Jaap van Roon for company on the 4th row of the grid. On the 5th row of the grid, we have Lennart Hinstra with Tobias Vasquez Garcia, who was great value for money last time out. Lee Mole lines up behind him with Karsten Kramer, P12 on the grid. David Harrison from Australia has Marcus Neuhofer for company. Eric Wagner lines up 15 with Camille Perrion, who had a bit of a moment coming out the pits in quali this morning. Corrado Costa and Patrick Kunhar line up alongside each other, with Kunhar the leading GT4 qualifier. The very popular Ajith Kumar from India lines up 19th, with Ernst Inderbitzen alongside David von Rosen. Michael McInerney lined up 21st and 22nd, with Casper Hockerboom and Paolo Macedo alongside him 24th, and then bringing up the rear of the pack, Marco van der Poel and Alexander Dobic, who is starting from the pit lane. And I don't know whether Dobic is rolling yet or not, but I think he may only be able to rejoin once the field passes by at the start of this race. So here come the rest of the runners and riders. It is going to be, once again, 30 minutes of racing plus 1 lap. The cars are at turn 10 at the moment, and as they come out of turn 10 towards turn 11, the instruction is given for them to grid up side by side. When the green lights come on, the drivers are required to pass through their grid boxes, not their pit boxes, their grid boxes, so as to not record a false start. And then once they're across the line, they will fan out, and we will be racing on this wonderful Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, in the glorious Spanish sunshine, the penultimate round of the season. And the final round will come later this afternoon. There is our pole sitter, Andre Fernandez, Michael Cool Cole alongside him. And there's Alexander Dobic, who is now rolling and able to rejoin at the back of the pack. So side by side they come in towards turn 14. Then the safety car will disappear off into the distance, and it will be the job of Andre Fernandez to lead them across the line. Keep an eye on Evgeny Leonov in the number 16 car. He has proven to be very racy. We heard from him earlier, and he has plans on the top step of the podium. Philip Wills on the eve, potentially, of a championship. We are ready. Round 7, Porsche Sprint Challenge, Southern Europe. Club division is go, and across the hill, up over the hill they come, steaming towards turn 1. It's a great start from Cole into turn 1, a clear lead. He won both races here this time last year, but I said Leonov would be worth watching, and he gets together. Cole goes scattering, and also in there Javier Ripoll Jr. This is going to bring out a safety car, I have no doubt about that. We have a lot of damaged cars, but it was Javier Ripoll Jr. who made the biggest contact on board with Karsten Kramer, picking his way through the debris, and it's a destruction scene. Cars scattered all over the place. We're full course yellow. Well, it's going to go safety car. This may well go to a red flag. There's a lot of damaged cars out on the track. That's Eric Wagner that I can see there in the 23 car. Alexander Dobic will be pleased that he started such a long way back, because he was able to avoid all of that lot, but we have lost a number of cars, and that even the number is obscured. That is, just trying to see who that actually is. I think is that, no, that is the Damir Hot car, isn't it? So yeah, Damir Hot car. So, that car looking very hot as the steam pours from it. And that was exactly the kind of start we didn't want it happen. In all of that, Angelo Fontana got up into second place, but I have a feeling there may be a little bit of juggling that goes on here because I cannot see. Well, it's going to be hard work for this to go the distance without even a red flag. Safety car is out on track at the moment. Andre Fernandez, he managed to avoid any of that drama, but he got beaten off the line by Michael Cole. And who knows who survived out of that lot. We'll see when they've crossed the line who the winners and losers are, and we'll get a rundown of what's what. So, Andre Fernandez, Angelo Fontana, Lee Mole is registering up in third place at the moment. So it was that great start from Michael Cole at the very first corner, but then it all came unraveled after that. So they're crossing, they're still circulating at the moment. I've had no indication that we're going to see a red flag as things stand at the moment. So look at that. It looks like a scene out of a scrapyard, doesn't it? Lots of Porsche damage in the corner, and that's going to take a little bit of moving. So as things stand at the moment, the timing screens is all that we can go on, saying that Andre Fernandez is the leader. Angelo Fontana in second. Lee Mole up into third place. He'll be happy if we can keep this one going. Philip Wills into fourth. Lennart Heemstra into fifth, ahead of Jan-Jaap van Roon. Karsten Kramer in seventh, ahead of Tobias Vasquez Garcia. And then Patrick Cunha, Corrado Costa, and Ajith Kumar up into P11. David von Rosen, 12th. Paulo Macedo in 13th. Marco van der Poel in 14th. Kaspar Hockeboom next up. But say this might all be subject to confirmation. The main bit is the drivers are safe. Right. Just had confirmation from peers that Evgeny Leonov and Neuhofer, Marcus Neuhofer that is, are both out of this race. So we're going to be looking at replays of that for some time to come to pick the bones out of that one. But turns 1 and 2 here at this circuit, racing speeds taking about 110 to 130 kilometers an hour. It's a fairly fast couple of corners. And often the scene of controversy. It has been all day today so far, and it's proving to continue to be the case. I'm kind of pleased to see that we haven't gone red flag yet, if I'm honest. Hoping that will stay that way. Right, we've got a replay. This will be good. Let's have a look and see what happened here. So into the first corner. Good start from Michael Cole. Then there was that move to the inside of Evgeny Leonov. Two cars getting together, and just everybody. And how did Angelo Fontana get out of that one? Just cars scattering, and that is such a shame. And we lost some real contenders here. So Leonov with that dive to the inside of Cole, and then being collected by Javier Ripoll Jr. That's David von Rosen in the background, avoiding action as well. So what an absolute shame. And the real tragedy is there's a lot of damage, so we may lose some for the next race too, but I'm hoping not. So we're behind the safety car at the moment. The clock continues to tick. We have 24 and a half minutes to go. So as long as we don't get a red flag and we don't get any changes, the order is Andre Fernandez, Angelo Fontana, Lee Mole. If things remain as they are now, even though he is well ahead, Philip Wills, fourth place, will be enough to clinch the championship with one race to go. Again, all subject to confirmation. These are just my dodgy workings out. I'm just checking on a few points popping up on my screen, making sure I've got all the information I need. All I've got is that we have an investigation into that incident on turn 1. So yes, if things finish as they are now, Philip Wills will be the champion. I haven't even looked at GT4 yet. Let's have a little look at the GT4. So coming into this, Patrick Cunha was leading David von Rosen by 25 points. Moment, Cunha is the leading GT4 runner. David von Rosen, looking to actually find him on the whether he survived all of that. Oh, David von Rosen is in. Oh, right. Okay, we've gone to red flag. Okay, well, this might change things anyway. So we've gone to red flag in the race, so everything's going to come to a stop, and you can see why. It's a bit of a war zone out on turns 1 and 2, and we're going to bring the cars back into the pit lane. It's going to take a little bit of clearing up. So the stewards have clearly tried to keep it going, but have decided that we need a red flag to clear this up. And again, we don't want to be using up valuable race time just circulating behind the safety car. So with 23 and a quarter minutes remaining, we're looking at Ajith Kumar, and he'll be able to just get out the car for a couple of moments and just get a breather while they clear the track. And then we'll get a bit of warning as to when the restart will be. So there is Ajith out of the car, his legions of followers. Oh, this is a bit of an insight here into the back of a Porsche, and clearly there are some issues there, and the crew just making a couple of adjustments. There are a certain number of adjustments that they can make under red flag conditions. Not a great deal, it has to be said, between quali and the race. I wonder what Ajith, it looks like maybe he is just out of the race. I don't know, because the rest of the field is still circulating. So potentially we may have lost Ajith Kumar from this one. But that will shake out once we get the cars lined back up and we get out for the restart. When we do restart, it's going to be 23 and a quarter minutes remaining. And it will be Andre Fernandez who leads the way. Well, it's going to be that whatever anyway, because he started on pole position. So Andre Fernandez, who kept his nose clean while everybody behind him was getting in a mess. Such a shame to have lost Evgeny Leonov. We really thought he and Michael Cole, who won both races at this event last year, always very quick around here. A welcome addition to the grid, and we were looking forward to seeing him and Evgeny Leonov going wheel to wheel and providing us with some entertainment. Michael Cole, who last year was in Porsche Sprint Challenge Benelux in 24 and came second in the 992 category. Evgeny Leonov, who's come very much through GT Cup Open in Europe. Originally started out in TCR, if I'm correct, in Europe and Italy, Spain, and has been looking really good here in Porsche Sprint Challenge. And we only saw him at the season opener in Portimao, but he won from pole position in the opening race of the season and got a 4th place. So it was looking good for a podium, but for that incident. And there will be lots of people who will be trying to decide whose fault it was. And we always have lots of opinion and people who are very sure, but the stewards are the ones that make the decisions, not the commentator, that's for sure. So we'll let them decide whose fault it was, and if they feel as though there is a punishment to be dished out, they will do that, as is often the case. And they have angles that we don't have. They will take lots of looks at that, and they will decide whether there's any penalties to be dished out. But whichever way you look at it, we've lost both Michael Cole and Evgeny Leonov. So whatever race penalty might be thrown at either of them, it's not really going to make a lot of difference to the outcome of this race. Piers, I believe, is down in the pit lane. So have you got any news for us, Piers?
No news as of yet, Brian, but of course everyone just coming into the pit lane right now to reassemble the grid, allow the Marshall team to clear the circuit. Dramatic start to the race. It's a shame to have so many red flags. We'll want to go racing again soon. I was hoping to grab a word with Angelo, but unfortunately they think we want to keep in the zone, and also I don't want to open the door in case that gets stuck. Andre Fernandez started on pole position, maintains pole position. Probably the best place to be, to be honest, keeping out of the trouble at the moment. So he looks like he's in good spirits, and he'll be hoping to do basically what he did in that first one. I'll leave him to continue chatting with the team. Moving further down the grid, Lee Mole all the way up in third place after all that. I don't know whether this is going to be the final starting order, so we'll confirm that later on. Once Lee's finished chatting with his team, I'll jump in on here. A few little scuffs you can see, so Lee's been either avoiding or getting close to other drivers. It's a very, very close start, did well to avoid all of the issues at the start of that race. And I can see that the team have also got a nice bottle of water with a straw there. It's high-tech straw there. Exactly. It is nice. Of course, the drivers, very, very hot in these race cars. They do have blowers in the car, but I don't think many of them run with air conditioning because it adds weight. Lee's deep in conversation, so maybe we'll come back to him later on. Moving further down the grid, our championship leader, champion-elect, I think he's in the pound seat at the moment to take the win. Philip Wills for the Proton Huber competition team. You can see some running repairs going on here, just little bits and pieces. Again, more contact, light contact, I may add, for Philip. I'm sure his championship life flashed before his eyes in that one with all that going on, but managed to stay out of trouble for now, getting a few words from the team. And that seems to be the order of the day at the moment. Lots of words of wisdom from driver coaches, engineers. And I'm going to jump in and have a quick word with Lennart Heemstra. Lennart, first of all, great to have you back on the grid. Good to see you again. Things are going pretty well this weekend for you.
Happy to be back indeed. Yes, I made really good progress in these 2 practice days, yesterday and the day before. Every time I gained on my time. It's the first time on this track. This morning I beat my time with a second and a half, so I had my goal was top 10 and my quali was 8 or 9. I said beforehand a top 5 would only happen if other people have disaster, and well, here I am at P5.
Great, well, good for you. Of course, we don't like to see cars go out of the race like that, but hey, you managed to avoid the chaos. Did you see from your position, could you see what happened, what caused it all to unfold?
Not really, it goes really quickly and there were cars spinning and flying everywhere. I got hit quite hard on the side, but luckily no mechanical damage, so I could accuse.
Great job from the Triple Crown Racing team to get you back on the grid. Of course, hefty damage at Estoril, which meant you weren't out for Valencia, but going okay so far?
Even still. Yeah, they did a really good job in rebuilding the full car in 2 weeks' time.
I'll let you talk to the team. I can see the team are chatting in your ear. Lennart, thanks for taking time to chat to us. Of course, the drivers all have radio communication with the teams, and I could see that Lennart was thinking, oh, do I talk to peers or talk to the team? I think it's probably best if I let them do the important job. I'm just here to chat with them. Moving further down the grid, we've got Jan van Roon. Yeah, why not? We'll grab a word with Jan. Can we grab a quick word?
Yeah, of course.
Jan, talk to us about how the race has gone so far. Not much racing, but a lot happened.
A lot happened for sure. I started on the outside line on P10, and the guy in front of me didn't really accelerate much, so I took the inside. I was like, okay, I don't want to be stuck behind him, and I went to the inside, and the guy next to me just dive bombed. I was like, if I'm here on the inside and I see you out braking, like how? So that I think was the start of the crash, and then I just decided to stay all the way to the right, because yeah, this was bound to happen.
It was clearly a good decision to stay over to the right because we lost a few cars, unfortunately, which is the cause of the red flag. As far as we're aware, everyone's okay, but some of the cars maybe not so much. Of course, we're resetting. We've got another race start. You've moved up. Well, I say you've moved up. What's your outlook for the second half of this race?
I really want to take that position back. Corner 4, he overtook me. I didn't see that coming. So I'm really eager to get that one back, and then we'll see it from there. I have Karsten behind me. I know him well from the VLNs, so I know he's fast. I know he's aggressive. So it's a challenging restart, for sure.
We look forward to this little group of cars then for some good racing. Jan, thanks very much for chatting to us. Great to see Jan on the grid again, and always a good character to talk to, and very, very well good racing. And we've also got Karsten Kramer here. Karsten, can I have a quick word? Karsten was just chatting to Jan van Roon in front of you, and he was saying that he knows you from the VLN races. He knows what you race, and he's looking forward to the race ahead.
Yes, no, we know us very well. He was also driving with me together, and I like him, and it's good fun. Yes,
absolutely. But talk us through that chaotic first start from your perspective.
Yeah, I took the exit through the gravel. It was like a bomb which exploded, and it was really a mess. Yeah.
But your car's all okay for the second start?
Yeah, I stayed away out of all the trouble and everything fine, yes.
Brilliant. Carsten, good luck in the second part of this race. Great to chat to Carsten as well. Team owner and driver Carsten Kramer, of course, with the K Kramer Racing Team. His teammate Tobias Vasquez right behind him. Wondering if I can grab a quick word, Tobias. Can we have a quick chat? Brilliant. Tobias, your teammate Carsten right in front of you. Looking forward to the second half of this race?
Yeah, I didn't saw the green light, so now he's in front of me. But I think the second half of the race should be better, and I hope I can gain some positions.
It looks like it's pretty close between the top drivers in the club division this weekend. In practice, all the times were close together, so I'm looking forward to a close second half of the race. What do you think you can do in this in the second part of this race?
Yeah, I don't know if top 3 is possible, but I try my best, and yeah, let's see how it will be end.
Top 3 would be a very good drive from this position, but good luck, Tobias. It sounds like a couple of cars are firing up. I don't know whether that's because we're going racing or whether it's just they're cooling down. I think we're still good to keep wandering our way down. Patrick Kuna here in the GT4, current leading GT4 driver at the moment. Unfortunately, I don't speak a huge amount of Portuguese. In fact, I speak no Portuguese, and Patrick is not the most proficient in English. So we grabbed a word with him in Portuguese at one of the previous rounds, and I'm just going to walk further down the grid. Corrado Costa getting some advice there. Carry on, no, please carry on. Please carry on. It's good to see what you guys talk about, and of course a bit of information and coaching from the team here. Great to see them working so well together. Of course, the drivers are on circuit on their own, but they, of course, lean on their teams heavily for both help in terms of the car setup, but also in terms of how to position themselves on circuit, the mindset and racecraft as well. David Von Rosen joining us is the next car. He's currently sitting second in the GT4 classification. David is fairly new to racing, I believe. He's, I think it may be his second or third or fourth race weekend. Can I jump in with David? Sure. David, can we have a quick word for the live broadcast? How are you going? This was a pretty chaotic start to the first race.
Quite a chaotic start, but I actually enjoyed it. I like the first adrenaline coming into the body. So no, I thought it was a good start, but let's see what comes now.
Patrick only a couple of places ahead of you in the GT4s. Is he on your in the crosshairs?
Let's see. I think he's quite more experienced than me, but obviously I'll try to stay as close as possible.
Let's talk about that experience. You haven't got a huge...
Let's see. I think he's quite more experienced than me, but obviously I'll try to stay as close as possible.
Let's talk about that experience. You haven't got a huge amount of racing experience, I don't believe, before this season.
No, this is like the third or fourth race. I've been car racing now for 1 year exactly. I started last February.
Wow, so you've made a lot of progress in a short amount of time. I'm sure the team are helping you with that a lot.
Yeah, they do. Great team, great instructors, so very happy.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Well, good luck in the second part of the race. David Von Rosen there, doing very well considering his relative lack of experience in racing. Of course, a lot of these drivers take to racing maybe later on in life. Who knows? They may well have been professional drivers in another life if they'd started earlier. Let's walk a little bit further down. Casper, I think, he's currently... Are we okay to have a quick word, Casper? Can we have a chat? No, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. We'll move. We'll get you later. We'll chat to Casper later. Right. I think I've got time for one more interview. Can I have a quick word with Michael? Are we okay to have a quick chat, Michael? Yep. Brilliant. Michael McInerney, we caught up with in the lunch break. Michael, chaotic start to the first race this weekend. What are you expecting from the second half? I think actually I better go. I think the cars are starting up. Time to go racing. So Brian, back over to you.
Good job, Piers. Don't get run over. Yeah, you don't speak Portuguese, but I'm told you speak very good Dutch. At least you did yesterday. Right, okay. Engines are running. So when the cars get rolling and exit the pit lane, the red box will turn green and the race will be underway. We'll get a formation lap with the clock running. So we're going to probably be getting down towards 20 minutes remaining by the time we get the green flag. We are on board there with Carsten Kramer, who we spoke to, clearly enjoying it. It's so good. People racing this because they love racing, and there are some drivers who are just doing this because they are enthusiastic. Living the dream, I think, is what we say. And there are some who are really serious about getting to the top step of the podium. We potentially have a championship on the line here. So we've got our eyes on that. So if things remain as they are now, Philip Wills will become the champion of the club division for Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. If things remain as they are now, Patrick Cunha will take the championship in the GT4 race as well, because coming into this, he had 70 points. David von Rosen has 45 point deficit between first and second. So we are potentially on the cusp of sorting, well, potentially 3 championships in this race. But of course, they've got to get to the end. We've still got 23 minutes and counting now as the clock starts to tick down of this race. And as you have already witnessed, all day today, getting to the end is a challenge in itself. And if we can get them all round turns 1 and 2, I will be doing a private little dance here in the commentary booth, because turns 1 and 2 have certainly been the areas of controversy, let's say here. This corner that we're looking at here, sequence of corners, they are second gear sequence of corners taken 110 to 130 kilometers an hour. Then they're into the third gear where turn 3, so building up speed to about 140. And if they can get round to that turn 3, then that's a bit of a win in my book, and we just need to get essentially the first couple of laps under our belt, and then we might be able to get this thing to the end. We're approaching shortly the 1/3 point of the race, and cars are running. We have lost Michael Cole, Damir Hott, Javier Ripoll Jr., Eric Wagner, Camille Perrion. No surprises about any of those. Safety car will be in on this lap, by the way. The Ajith Kumar fans, I'm afraid to say that Ajith is also been shown as in the pits, as is Evgeny Leonov and Markus Neuhofer. So it looks as though it's going to be a non-start for Ajith Kumar, the driver who spent a bit of time upside down at the last round in Valencia. But don't be disheartened, because it doesn't look like anything too major on Ajith's car. So hopefully he'll be back out for the second race for the club division a little later on this afternoon, round 8 of the season. But he's clearly not going to be taking the restart of this one. So cars now out once again on a rolling lap. They're up at turn 8 at the moment, heading towards turn 9. And next time around, when they cross the line, the green flags will be flying. And Philip Wills just needs to keep doing what he's doing. His main championship rival, his only championship rival, is Angelo Fontana, who has, by a miracle, managed to work his way from 6th on the grid up to 2nd as a result of the carnage that we just saw. A very rapid driver is Angelo Fontana, so he certainly knows how to pedal one of these Porsches, but he needs more than just a win. He needs something to befall Philip Wills to drop him out of the top 6. And I have to say, though, anything can happen. Probably will, usually does, as the cars head up towards turn 12. And it will be a single file restart. Andre Fernandez will become the de facto safety car now that the real safety car has disappeared into the distance, and he will increase the speed. It looks like he's done that quite early. Yes, he has. So whereas we saw Ariel Levy in the previous race backing everybody up to the last minute, Andre Fernandez has done quite the opposite, and he's motored it around turns 12 and 13 to receive the green flag. We are racing once again with just under 20 minutes plus 1 lap remaining. Fontana in 2nd, Lee Mole in 3rd, but coming under pressure from championship leader Philip Wills. So Wills being the brave man, but just backing out of it. He needs to finish this race. He needs the points. But in so doing, leaves himself a little bit vulnerable to Lennart Heemstra through the tricky turns 1 and 2. Yes, we made it. Well, almost everybody's through now and in towards turn 3. So we've got a good chance of this one actually completing a lap. Here they come. There's Heemstra on the outside of Philip Wills. So Wills just tiptoeing carefully. He's got a much bigger picture in mind, and he doesn't want to throw it all away by ending up in a gravel trap. Now Heemstra has got Carsten Kramer almost pushing him around the corner, and that's going to keep him occupied. That might allow Philip Wills just to break free a little bit. Just ahead of him, Lee Mole, breaking clear of this particular battle in third place. It'd be great to see Lee Mole if he could finish on the podium. And Philip Wills just behind him, almost a rear gunner in this instance. Here comes first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th. There we go. That's the first cue. Then we've got a gap back to Paula Macedo in 12th place. Again, the challenges come thick and fast. Karsten Kramer on Lennart Heemstra. Heemstra in the white and black car. Karsten Kramer just exploring the limits of adhesion with the back end of the car. He's got his teammate, the Tobias Vasquez Garcia, the very pretty black and gold car. We'll just point out that Karsten is the team boss. So Tobias probably not going to be trying too hard, although he does duck out of the draft, out along the pit straight. Is he going to put one over the boss? I think he is, of the team, that is, into turn one. Very important that these two cars don't get together. But Kay Kramer racing into turn one. Tobias Vasquez Garcia says, okay, let me have a go at Lennart Heemstra and see if I can do something about that position. Of course, that little swap of positions has allowed Lennart just to break clear a little bit. And Karsten Kramer now looking at the back end of his teammate's car, having surrendered that 6th place. So at the front, Andre Fernandez very much in control with the fastest lap of the race. Angelo Fontana in 2nd place, the championship challenger, the only championship challenger. Lee Mole in 3rd place. Philip Wills with one hand on the trophy. Just got to do what he's doing, keep it together for the next 17 minutes and 10 seconds plus 1 lap. In the GT4 race, Patrick Kuhnhar in 10th place. David Von Rosen just behind him, though, in 11th place. So that's going to be one to keep an eye on. And that's David Harrison. A little excursion into the scenery, saying hello to the aforementioned for 4th place. I don't think so. Certainly feeling the pressure. Philip Will telling a racing driver to settle for 4th place. I don't think so. Lee Mole certainly feeling the pressure. Philip Wills would love to win his championship by finishing on the podium as well. But as I've mentioned numerous times before, he cannot afford to chuck this one in the gravel trap. So it's tiptoe, keep it all together. Don't do anything stupid. Here's our race leader across the line, 1.627 clear of Angelo Fontana. Here comes Philip Wills to the inside into turn one. Lee Mole cuts across in front, and a big moment for Philip Wills. His championship flashes before his eyes. Looks like he's managed to avoid any damage. It's allowed him to fall back into the clutches of Lennart Heemstra. That's exactly what Philip Wills needed not to be doing, and that was getting involved and potentially getting damaged. So looks like he's all okay. He's gathered it all up. But now in the clutches of 5th place Lennart Heemstra. If things finish as they are now, Philip Wills will be the champion with 1 race remaining. But he needs to hold it all together. He needs to keep it out the gravel. He needs to keep his head. Lee Mole is clearly not in the mood for giving up a podium position. He knows he's not in this championship hunt. He knows that the car behind him is. So he can afford to slam the door in the face. And that's exactly what he did. So Lee Mole with a bit of breathing room. Out we come towards turn 11. Some of the cars exploring the outer limits of track limits as we approach the halfway point of this race. So halfway, 15 minutes plus 1 lap remaining of this round 7 of an 8-round season. Porsche Sprint Challenge, Southern Europe Club Division. And Philip Wills, with a scary moment, regathers it all up in 4th place, has escaped without any damage. May well be having a long, hard think before challenging Lee Mole, or maybe not. Is this payback time? Out along the pit straight, in towards turn 1. Surely not going to do it again, are we? Just showing himself in the mirrors. Lennart Heemstra has his mirrors full of Tobias Vasquez Garcia, and that's giving Philip Wills a little bit of breathing room. So if he does want to try and get one up on Lee Mole, this is going to be an opportunity I'd say that into turns 1 and 2 has proven to be not always the best place. I mean, it is the best place because it's the best overtaking spot, but also the spot where we've seen so much controversy. Lennart Hiemstra back on the back bumper of Philip Wills. So 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. That's no 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. There you go. Seconds up the road. There he is at the top of the screen. So this is the fight for 3rd position, the last of the podium positions. And there are 4 cars challenging for that position. Lee Mole currently with the advantage, making sure he makes that Porsche as wide as he possibly can. Philip Wills having a think. How can he get past Lee Mole without incurring damage or ending up spinning or in a gravel trap? At the moment, Lennart Hiemstra putting the pressure on. Tobias Vasquez Garcia, as was the case in Valencia, probably looking the quicker of the 4, looking like the driver who's most likely to upset a few people if he possibly can. He's another one who has nothing to lose. He's not on the championship hunt. I just noticed that the incident between Lee Mole and Philip Wills has been noted by our race steward. So they saw that incident into turn 1 and are just investigating it, and may decide that one or the other of the drivers was perhaps not playing entirely by the rule book. On board with Alexander Dobik in the number 33 car. Remember, he started right at the back. He's up to 12th place at the moment, so that's pretty good going. And here he is running alongside David Von Rosen. You've got a Porsche GT3 car versus the GT4 car. So just in a straight drag race, there's nothing that Von Rosen could do to fend off Alexander Dobik, who had to start from the pit lane after a troubled qualifying this morning. Right, the battle for 3rd place rages on. 2nd is well clear. At the moment, Andre Fernandez with the fastest lap of the race, 1.396 clear of 2nd. There's a 4.9 second gap back to this fight that we're looking at here. So 3rd is potentially as far as any of these drivers are going to go, but it is a trophy, it's a podium, and it's valuable points in Philip Wills' case. But he has a lot to lose if he gets it wrong. Here they come once again into turn 10, taken in 2nd gear at about 85 kilometers an hour. And then this next sequence of corners in 2nd gear. Now Philip Wills, a little look to the inside, but the inside becomes the outside. And in so doing, almost surrenders a position once again to Lennart Hiemstra. This is really, really tricky for Philip Wills. Around turn 13 and 14 they come, up into 4th gear, then out onto the straight. They exit turn 14 at about 165 kilometers an hour. Then they pick up about another 100 kilometers an hour as they move up into 6th gear along the pit straight before the heavy braking into the 2nd gear, 110 kilometer an hour corner. Again to the inside, having a little look, and this time Lee Mole goes spinning. It's a replay of what we saw a few laps earlier. Philip Wills with his nose in, but Lee Mole trying to shut the door. This time Wills was not going to back out of it, and the 56 car is sent spinning. The stewards have already flagged that as something they're going to be having a look at. It's moved Philip Wills up into 3rd place, Lennart Hiemstra up into 4th place. Such a shame for Lee Mole. Was he being a little bit over defensive? Well, the stewards will make their decision on that one, but at the moment, subject to confirmation, Philip Wills up into 3rd. Doesn't look as though he's picked up any damage, but winning this championship, doing it the hard way in terms of keeping us on the edge of our seats. He's into 3rd place at the moment, so if the race finished now, the championship would go the way of Angelo Fontana. 3rd place is enough, and Lennart Hiemstra getting it all wrong on the exit of the corner. Keeps it out of the wall, surrenders the place to Tobias Vasquez Garcia. But that was a big moment for Lennart Hiemstra there. Bit of a tank slapper. I think that was out of turn 9. He gathered it all together, but that's allowed Garcia through. And Garcia might be perhaps a little bit more robust in trying to find a route past Philip Wills if he can catch him. We know that Garcia really doesn't tend to take many prisoners, And Philip Wills will not be pleased to see the black and gold car in his mirrors, and he'll want to break clear. In the meantime, Angelo Fontana, with the fastest lap, has closed down our race leader, Andre Fernandez, to 0.783. Now, I mentioned this earlier on in qualifying this morning. Tyre preservation is everything. And if the drivers have taken too much out of the tyres, either in qualifying or in the race, they may well be vulnerable at the end. It might be that Andre Fernandez has just had a difficult lap. Well, his last lap was his best lap. So he doesn't look to have had any issues on the previous lap, but it could be that he might be having issues with grip, or it might be that he's just looking after the car to bring it home. But 0.783 is not exactly a comfortable margin over first and second place. Philip Wills is all the way 9.008 seconds back in that third place. Further back, that is Karsten Kramer, and he has Jan Jaap van Room, who we heard from in the pit lane earlier. This is the fight for sixth place. 8 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Let's have a look at the GT4. Still, Patrick Cunha leads the way in 11th overall. David Von Rosen just behind him in 12th place overall. So by my calculations, if things finish as they are now, we will be crowning two champions at the end of this race, both the AM champion and the GT4 champion. Make that three, because it will be the overall championship as well that will be decided. But we've still got 7 3/4 minutes plus 1 lap remaining of this race before anything can be declared, not to mention anything that might be coming from the race stewards. Angelo Fontana continuing with the fastest laps of the race, continuing to close in on our race leader, Andre Fernandez. So in towards turn 1, that is Karsten Kramer with Jan Jaap van Room for company. Here's Alexander Dobic. He's caught up with Lee Mole, but Lee Mole did have that little moment. So good driving from Alexander Dobic up into 9th place from the very back, just keeping out of trouble, picking them off one by one. He moves past Lee Mole. Fernandez, 0.496 at the front, 6 3/4 minutes remaining. Is Angelo Fontana going to make a final dash for points? It won't be enough, because if Philip Wills finishes in third, and even if Tobias Vazquez Garcia gets past him, he will still be crowned the champion with 1 race remaining. On board with Alexander Dobic, just picking off the cars one by one. The Hideka racing car in the resplendent yellow and black livery. You can spot that one on a dark night, can't you? Picking his way through. Ahead of him, Corrado Costa. Great to welcome him back. Now, Evgeny Leonov, well, all that's been going on. I thought we'd actually lost him from the race, but he's been shown up as the fastest driver. So Evgeny Leonov, who's 6 laps down, is the fastest man on the track. So he clearly had rejoined while we were looking the other way after that opening incident, just showing everybody what might have been had he not got together with Michael Cole on that opening corner. Still with Alexander Dobic, Corrado Costa in 8th place, just ahead of him. Corrado Costa extracting everything he can out of the track limits. And Alexander Dobic just picking his moment. Will he have an opportunity? Picking up a slipstream out along the pit straight in towards turn 1. Is he going to duck out of the draft to the inside into turn 1? Yes, he is. Is he going to make it stick? Yes, he is. So to the inside now. Costa, though, coming back around the outside. It takes my breath away every time we see them on that corner. It is a tricky corner. Dobic losing the back end slightly into turn 2. You get the feeling the tyres on that car might be crying enough. Right, this is for the lead. 5 minutes remaining of round 7. Andre Fernandez has a problem. That problem is Angelo Fontana, who fancies a race win. He's in 2nd place, and now he is up with the race leader. They're up to turn 10 at the moment. It was 4/10 last time. Well, it's not 4/10 now. You can see the gap. I would say that's probably a couple of tenths at best between 1st and 2nd. So Fontana making a last charge with 4.5 minutes remaining of this race to try and get to the front. Angelo Fontana, who has just 1 race this year, that was at Estoril back in the early February. Would love to make it a second win. Andre Fernandez has 2 wins so far this season, 1 in Estoril and 1 in Valencia. Wants to make it 3, but now half a second is the gap, so maybe the gap opened up a little bit in the latter stages of that lap. But Angelo Fontana looking the quicker of the 2. Into turn 1 we come. Philip Wills, a distant 3rd place. He'll be happy with that because he's broken clear of Tobias Vasquez Garcia. But this is for the race lead. Through 1 and 2 we come. Can Angelo Fontana, the driver who had to come back through the pack in both races last time out in Valencia from the very back, doing it again here, coming through the order. There is Michael McInerney and David Harrison. They're running together. That's for 13th place. Right, here we go for the lead. A little gap on the inside. Philip Wills, we're pleased he's not too close to this battle, because if they get together, he does not want to be involved in it. 3¼ minutes plus 1 lap. This is for the lead. Andre Fernandez, Angelo Fontana, just throwing everything that he's got to try and take this championship to the last race of the season. Championship elect in the background. Philip Wills in 3rd place. Less than 3 minutes remaining, plus 1 lap. In towards turn 10 they come. Under braking into the 2nd gear corner, about 85 kilometers an hour. Then this tricky section, all done in 2nd gear until they get to turn 13. Then it's up to 3rd gear, then into 4th for turn 14, and then it's full beans along the straight. And it may be at that point that Angelo Fontana will fancy picking up a slipstream from the 917 car in front of him and making a move to take the lead of this race. Into 14 they come and out onto the pit straight. So is Fontana gonna make a challenge? Here they come. Is he close enough? Up the hill they come towards turn 1. They'll disappear over the other side. Then downhill into turn 1 they come. Under braking, Fontana perhaps just a little bit too far back. He's made up a 10th on the lead in the last lap, but that's not enough to get in front. 2 minutes plus 1 lap remaining of this race. Andre Fernandez, who started on pole position, he kept his head, he kept it all together while everybody was scrapping behind. He wants to turn that pole position into another race win, his 3rd race win of the season. Angelo Fontana wants to steal away his dreams, trying everything that he can. Into turn 5 they come. Once again, Fontana starting to run out of time. Still in the background, Philip Wills on the eve of what could be a championship win. But up ahead of him, the fight still continues. 90 seconds plus 1 lap remaining of this race. Once the clock strikes 0, the cars will have 1 additional lap added to the race. Angelo Fontana will know that time is running out. Towards turn 10 they come. So it's going to be a couple more laps remaining of this race. He's going to start running out of time. He needs to make the move, but he's closer now than he's been at any other point in the race. Around turn 10 they come. In towards turn 11, getting a good exit out of turn 14 will be important, but will he have to wait that long? Fernandez just losing the back end of the car slightly. He holds it together, but the gap appears once again on the inside. Into turn 13, now into 14 we come, out onto the pit straight. So the clock at 37, 36, 35 seconds. Here we come towards turn 1. 2 laps remaining of this race. Over the brow of the hill, under braking into turn 1. Will Fontana take a look to the inside, to the outside? He does neither. Into turn 1, he's too far back. He's taken another 10th of a second out of the lead of Andre Fernandez, but he's still not close enough to make a move. The clock now running down into the final few seconds. It will be what remains of this lap, then one more before the checkered flag of this race, the penultimate round of the season for Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe 2025 Club Division. Andre Fernandez has led every lap of this race. He continues to do so. He needs to just carry on doing what he's doing for another lap and a half, and it will be his 3rd win of the season. Fontana running out of ideas, running out of time, but still very much in the running. In the background, Philip Wills must be thinking about a championship. Tobias Vasquez Garcia has not come with the challenge that we were expecting. There is Philip Wills in third place. There is fourth place Garcia. Behind them, a long way back, Lennart Himstral in the GT4. Patrick Kuhnhaar continues to lead David von Rosen. So he is also on the eve of his championship win. Here comes Andre Fernandez once again into turn 13. You can see that the tyres on the back of that Porsche are starting to run out of grip. Angelo Fontana really has only one more real opportunity. It's going to be the exit of turn 14 into turn 1. Is it going to be a dive bomb? Is he going to launch everything at it? Or is he going to settle for second place? Out across the start-finish line they come once again for the last second. A 5-second time penalty has been awarded to Andre Fernandez for exceeding track limits. Car 917 has received a 5-second time penalty, which means he realistically cannot win this race. A 5-second time penalty awarded to Andre Fernandez, our race leader, for exceeding track limits. And this means that Angelo Fontana does not need to do anything dramatic to get past. He just needs to stay where he is and he will take the win, because our race leader, Andre Fernandez, is going to get relegated. There is the 223 car of David von Rosen moving past the cars in front of him is David Harrison, and there's been a big impact. That's Corrado Costa, who's had a big moment out on the pit straight. The car is stranded. We're going to probably get lots of yellow flags waving here. Fontana is past Andre Fernandez. He was going to win it anyway. But Fernandez going wide across the curbs. The car briefly getting airborne. Our new race leader is going to be Angelo Fontana. There is going to be a lot of yellow flags waving because we've got a car stricken out on the pit straight. But they're into the final lap of the race, the final few corners. Into turn 11 comes Angelo Fontana. The yellow flags are waving up at turn 14. Andre Fernandez was never going to win this one with the 5-second time penalty applied. It is going to be Angelo Fontana who comes out towards turn 14 for the very last time, and he will see the checkered flag raised high in front of him. It's going to be a win for Angelo Fontana past the Corrado Costa car. It is out from the wall, but it's a win for Angelo Fontana. Andre Fernandez comes next, and it's going to be a championship for Philip Wills. Third place is all he needed to do. It will be a championship in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe Club Division for Philip Wills as he crosses the line in that third place. Tobias Vasquez Garcia in fourth. Then we wait for Lennart Himstra, Carsten Kramer in the treble 8 car. He will cross the line in that 11th place, and that will be enough to secure a GT4 championship victory on board with David von Rosen. He did everything that he could, but he's not going to be able to catch Patrick Kuhnhaar. Out across the line we come, and Kuhnhaar finishing in 11th place. And brilliant driving from him to win the GT4 championship as well. David von Rosen did everything that he could, but it was going to be a 15th place and a third in category. Kasper Hockebom getting past David von Rosen in the closing stages. So that gives the GT4 championship to Patrick Kuhnhaar as well. So all the championships decided with one race remaining. It's going to be an AM championship for Philip Wills. It's going to be a GT4 championship for Patrick Kuhnhaar and an overall championship for Philip Wills. The race win going to Angelo Fontana. Second across the line, Andre Fernandez, but will have 5 seconds applied. But that will make no difference because Philip Wills was 8.999 behind. So Fernandez will stay in second. Wills in third, the new champion, ahead of Tobias Vasquez Garcia. Lennart Himstra in 5th place, ahead of Carsten Kramer. Jan-Jaap van Room in 7th, ahead of Alexander Dobik from the back. Lee Mole was in the wars, but brought it home in 9th place, ahead of David Harrison. And Patrick Kuhnhaar, your new GT4 champion, in 11th place, ahead of Michael McInerney, Ernst Inderbitzin, and Kasper Hockebom, rounding out the top 14. In 15th place, David von Rosen gave it all that he could, ahead of Paolo Macedo and Corrado Costa, showing it in 18th, but of course with that big crash. There is Philip Wills, the relief He's finally done it. He can call himself a champion in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe Club Division. And there is Christoph Huber, who is one of the absolute key people in Proton Huber competition, who congratulates him. Of course, Philip Wills racing for Proton Huber competition, receiving the congratulations. And a shout out to Christoph Huber, who does a fantastic job along with Christian Reed for Proton Huber competition. And they prepare those cars. And there for Est1, Angelo Fontana. It was a lively race. Surviving was part of it. But he got to the end to take his second win of the season. The driver from Venezuela working hard, and he nibbled away at Andre Fernandez. Fernandez, by my calculations, despite the 5-second time penalty, will keep his second place because he had that gap over Philip Wills. Brilliant. I can see that Piers is down there. I hope you enjoyed that one, Piers. I certainly did.
Oh, yeah, I enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Brian, for keeping us up to date with what was going on. Of course, the team's just spoken to Christoph Huber. They don't want to celebrate for Philip Wills just yet because you never know what can happen afterwards, of course, with Andre Fernandez's penalty looming over as well. But I'll grab a word with Philip anyway. Philip, come on in, third place on the road. Andre, we believe, has a time penalty. I don't think you'll inherit that position due to the time, but still, it's a tough race out there. You had to work for that one.
Yes, for the first to avoid all the cars, it was very lucky that I was. Because I was just in between them, and I thought they are pretty aggressive in the front, so I will keep it a little bit slower in the first corner to see that and everything happened before me, so I could just pass between them. And I touched left and right cars, and I thought, oh my God, is the radiator still okay? And then after the restart, and it was very difficult to pass Limo because I was always closing the door. So I passed them on a special way, but I'm pretty happy that, okay, I made it to the finish line now with all these crashes what happened. So
of course, the car's in one piece.
Important for me to finish now in this weekend and maybe for the next race to enjoy.
Yes, Philip, we'll catch up with you later, I'm sure, because you're still favourite for the championship. Let's grab a word with our race winner, Angelo Fontana. Angelo's over here, so I'll try and grab his attention. Angelo, come on in. Be great to hear from you once again, of course, Angelo. Great drive from yourself. You pushed.
Yeah, I pushed.
And it worked.
Yeah, I pushed till the end, and finally P1 after Valencia's, you know what happened. I really wanted to arrive first again, you know.
And you did. Great pace. You closed the gap from nearly 2 seconds right down onto Andre's tail. And talk us about the move where you took the lead.
Yeah, he made a mistake definitely, and I took the chance. I knew that he was penalized anyway, but he opened the doors, and you know, I took it.
Angelo, congratulations. I see you've got the team flag there.
Team flag, Estonia.
Congrats. Team Est1, of course, from Estonia, and our second place driver, Andre Fernandez. Andre, can we have a quick word? Quick word, Andre. So close, so close.
Yeah, the last lap, you know, it's racing, but he touched me behind. I started losing my grip with tires, started losing the back, and you know, then he touched me in the back, and then it's racing.
Still got one more race to come later on.
Let's see if I can win this one.
Absolutely, and I'll grab a quick word with Patrick Kuna, who I believe is our provisional champion as well in GT4. I'll just wait for him to finish it. Patrick, again in Portuguese if you prefer, I believe you're provisional champion.
É verdade, somos campeões europeus, estamos muito felizes. Foi uma corrida que no início com muitos toques e arrancamos atrás de safety car. Eu queria ganhar um bocado de distância ao segundo para manter o primeiro lugar, foi aquilo que eu fiz. Comecei a andar nas 4, 5 primeiras voltas a tentar fazer os melhores tempos para ganhar um bocado de distância. A partir daí foi só gerir e guardar os pneus para a segunda corrida, como não vamos meter novos e tentar, agora já somos campeões, acabar a corrida.
Patrick, congratulations.
Obrigado.
Obrigado, exactly. Right, well, I'll let Brian take us through some of the memorable moments from that round number 7 of the club division while we get ourselves ready for the podium.
Thank you, Piers. Yes, we'll call them champions-elect. They mathematically have won their championships, of course. It is all subject to confirmation because the stewards will be investigating any potential incidents. The cars also have to pass technical scrutineering as well. We have seen it this year. We saw it with Angelo Fontana getting disqualified from quali the last time out in Valencia as a result of the car failing technical inspection. So we say champions-elect, Philip Wills and Patrick Cunha, and they've done all that they can do now, and it will be good because it means that the next race, the final race of the season, it really is gloves off. It really is just fighting for glory, fighting for the silverware, and that's always very exciting to see. And like we need any more excitement here to this circuit, particularly into turns 1 and 2. And it was turns 1 and 2 where it all kicked off. Evgeny Leonov to the inside of Michael Cole, the two cars getting together and then scattering. Javier Ripoll Jr. certainly getting a lot of damage out of that. A number of other cars going spinning as well, and that brought out the eventual red flag that meant that we had a long delay. But when we did get going, Philip Wills and Lee Mole, and Wills would have seen his championship passing by him in slow motion. There's Lennart Heemstra and Karsten Kramer and David Harrison had a little field trip there, went out and spoke to some of the bunnies. This is Philip Wills once again with Lee Mole, the two cars making contact. A big moment. Well, this is what Philip Wills, I think he referred to as his special overtaking maneuver in the end, because he felt as though Lee Mole was perhaps being a little bit overly defensive. There was a great battle for the lead, though, wasn't there? Andre Fernandez with Angelo Fontana. A battle that raged on. We got the notification towards the end of the race that Fernandez, with the back end sliding, was going to pick up a 5-second time penalty. So he tried to hold on, though. He wanted to cross the line first, didn't he? Jan-Jaap van Room was fighting with Karsten Kramer for position, and at the end of the race, Corrado Costa looked like a big impact with the wall. Such a shame, because we've really enjoyed having Corrado here, but it looks as though maybe his day has come to a premature end. This was the challenge for the lead. Fernandez closed the door as much as he dare, but Fontana had the grip and had the line through. David Von Rosen was fighting with Michael McInerney, and we had a GT3 versus GT4 there. Lots and lots of drama. The drama on the pit straight being indicated by the yellow flags. It was a win for Angelo Fontana, having got past Andre Fernandez. Fernandez with such a big gap over Philip Wills in third place, it meant that the 5-second time penalty counted for nothing. Great to see the team, including the team bosses, congratulating the new champion-elect Philip Wills. And what a dramatic race it was. And if you enjoyed that, well, we get to it all again a little bit later. We've got 2 more races left for you this season in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe, a season that has flown past and has been thoroughly entertaining. It was a season that kicked off in Portimao with Evgeny Leonov taking a win from pole position. And Philip Wills showed his intention by winning the second race of that particular weekend. Andre Fernandez also showing his intentions by taking a win in round 3. The fighting continued, and it's come all the way down to this, but Philip Wills and Angelo Fontana were the only 2 mathematically in the equation coming into today's racing. And Philip Wills mathematically has done all that he needs to do to win this championship, and has the engraver on standby to put his name on the trophy that was won by Robert Solmer last year, and Graham King, who won a GT4 last year. Piers is down on the podium, and he's ready to bring us the podium ceremony. Over to you, Piers.
Thank you very much. The podium ceremony now, starting with the AM classification. Our championship leader and potentially favourite for the championship, the number 912 from Belgium, Philip Wills. Philip joined by a young future champion as well. Philip drives for the Proton Huber competition team. Second place, the number 917 from Portugal, Andre Fernandez. And our eventual winner, the number 80 from Venezuela, Angelo Fontana. Angelo driving for the S1 Racing team. High fives all round, and we will now have the Portuguese national anthem. Congratulations to Angelo. My mistake, it's not the Portuguese, it was the Venezuelan national anthem for Venezuela. Third place trophy, Philip Wheels from Jose Luis Santamaria, the director of the circuit to Barcelona, Catalunya. Third place trophy, Philip Wheels. Second place trophy will be handed to Michael Dreisen from the director of sales to Porsche Motorsport. Second place, Andre Fernandez. And Jose Luis Santamaria will present the winning trophy to Angelo Fontana for S1 Racing from Venezuela. A brilliant drive, and the S1 Racing team whooping and hollering. We'll now have all three on the podium along with Jose Luis Santamaria and Michael Dreisen on the podium for the photos. And any photo opportunities down from the grid as well. Good job, everyone. Congratulations to our podium drivers in the AM classification. Next up, we will be having the GT4s, which has been hotly contested. Next up will be GT4, and it was competitive in that one. We saw, of course, in the red flag, David Von Rosen, only a couple of places behind Patrick Kuhner. And of course, those GT4 cars racing amongst the GT3 Cup car machinery. Separate classification. And it will be in third position. The number 222 from Germany, David Von Rosen. David Von Rosen, everybody. Third place in GT4, driving for the Neuhofer Rennsport team. In second, from the Netherlands, it was Casper Hoggeboom. Congratulations, Casper, driving for Team GP Elite. But in the end, it was from Portugal, Patrick Kuhner. Congratulations, Patrick, and he is provisional champion in the GT4 classification. He also races for Veloso Motorsport, and we will now have the Portuguese national anthem. Congratulations to our top three in the GT4 classification. Michael Dreisen will be presenting the third place trophy to David Von Rosen, Director of Sales at Porsche Motorsport. Second place trophy being handed to Casper Hochbaum by Jose Luis Santamaria, Director of the Circuit de Catalunya, Barcelona. And the winning trophy, Michael Dreisen will present to Patrick Kuhner, our champion for Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe in 2025. Great job from all three of these drivers. Everyone on the top step of the podium now for the photo opportunities. To remember this moment, eye line down to the gantry down there, and a final round of applause to our GT4 classification. Congratulations, all three of you. We'll be seeing you very, very shortly for the final round of the season, round number 8. But very, very shortly, we have the final round of the season of the sport division, and that's coming up right now.